Mito Yamamoto. After work today, you're fired. These words were spoken to Mito by his boss after learning he'd been secretly sleeping overnight at the restaurant. Mito apologized because he had nowhere else to stay, but once he saves up enough, he'll find a place. However, his boss was not having it. There's been a lot of customer complaints, not by the women. They were completely charmed by Mito, who always came to the restaurant for him, but the male patrons felt completely uncomfortable entering the shop. The boss gave Mito his bag, and even though Mito was in a tight spot, the boss's business couldn't be balked by that kind of hassle. He was certain a pretty boy like Mito could find work anywhere. Mito leaves defeated, unable to get his pay from work once again. While contemplating his poor life decisions, the girls passing by mention how cool he is, and with one look, they all lose their minds over how hot they think he is. But to his dismay, with only 12 yen in his wallet, it looks like he's camping outside tonight. Mito makes his prayers to his mother and father in the heavens, as he's in a pinch right now. No, he's always been in a pinch, ever since his parents suddenly died. His house set ablaze. He couldn't even remember much when his parents had passed. Everything that was normal until then was completely gone. After that, he was passed around from one relative to the next, treated as a nuisance wherever he went, even thrown out by his remaining family, since he's gotten through his compulsory education. After that, Mito desperately looked for a job, having a hard time finding anything. He thought he'd try a place somewhere over the bridge. As Mito walked, it suddenly began to rain, and he found himself desperately running with only the bag over his head. He found himself soaked under a cover, and gradually passed out from not having eaten anything in a while now. Whoops, looks like he fell into a pot in a restaurant he was standing in front of, but then suddenly found one of the workers standing behind him, checking on Mito's bleeding finger. The worker took Mito into the back in order to tend to the wound, and even though Mito said he was fine, with the worker grabbing onto him, the two began blushing as he licked Mito's wound. The worker, Ruka Saotome, cried as the blood was disgusting, and fell to the ground, coughing as he exclaimed Mito's blood to be thick, sticky, tasting like curry that went rotten and sat out for an extra week. But Mito was the one reasonably concerned, since Ruka suddenly licked the wound without being asked. However, the color was so pretty, apparently Ruka wanted to taste it. Something only a vampire would say. But Mito thought there was no way. After kicking Mito out of the restaurant, Ruka's butler, Komori, asked him how the blood tasted, because it's been 10 years since Ruka drank blood from a human. Ruka remarked it as disgusting, saying the blood of a man just won't do, making Komori surmise the reason being because that boy isn't loved by anyone. How much a human has been loved and how much they've loved in return determines how sweet and delicious their blood becomes, apparently. A woman's blood is the finest, but a man's blood can be just as sweet as the amount he is loved. So Komori prompts Ruka to ripen Mito's blood. However, with memories flashing through Ruka's mind, he slaps his butler's hand away, saying if all blood is that disgusting, he'd rather keep drinking his strawberry juice. Ruka wants to be the one to decide who he will make his thrall, and doesn't want to be told what to do. But Komori reminds Ruka what his purpose here is, coming to the human world. Komori needs him to accomplish something so Ruka can take his place as the leader of the vampires. Mito continues to run in the rain, getting an unlucky splash from a vehicle passing by. He continues to walk onto the bridge, knowing he has nowhere to go, knowing no one needs him. As he sits on the edge, he wonders that if he jumps off from here, would anyone even notice if he was gone? No. Just because I'm broke doesn't mean I should be this negative. Maybe tomorrow I'll find my next job. And Mito suddenly slips as he was regaining his determination. But he doesn't want to die. With eyes closed, he hears Ruka's voice saying, if you want someone to need you that badly, I could be the one who needs you, if you want. And we see him suddenly catch Mito, asking him if he's alright. Mito, teary-eyed, can't remember the last time he's been asked that. He cries over acting so stupid, but feels somewhat happy about this, only to hear Ruka suddenly say that if he keeps acting this way, his blood is going to taste worse than it already does. Ruka then suddenly takes a bite at Mito's neck, drinking the blood. Mito then gets thrown against the railing, with Ruka telling him that even though the blood is disgusting, it's still drinkable. He wondered why Mito was trying to jump, but Mito responds that he wasn't. He was just sitting on the edge, thinking about how no one needs him. So, Ruka told Mito he needs him. Mito wondered if Ruka was really a vampire, a being only known from myths and fairy tales, but doesn't have the energy to stay awake. With that, Ruka takes Mito away across the sky. Later, Mito woke up to a cat and a bat and Ruka reading. This place is apparently the boys' dormitory where Ruka lives. The dormitory of Hijirigaoka Boys Academy, where Ruka is a student. He prepared a bath for Mito, and so he should go have one and then be on his way. Mito was a little confused as he thought he was going to be Ruka's vampire thrall. However, Ruka changed his mind. Even though he'd been looking for a human like Mito all along, he doesn't intend to take blood from someone who's scared of him. But just thinking about how someone finally wanted him, Mito desires to be Ruka's thrall, only to get quickly thrown into the bathroom for acting too desperate. Mito learns his blood is disgusting because he doesn't know what it means to be loved. To improve the taste, Ruka could love him, and all Mito would need to do is learn to be loved. Thoughts flooded Mito's mind, wondering if he could finally experience what it means to be loved. He desires it, desires to learn how to be loved so he can prove useful to Ruka. Surprised that Mito agreed, the two exchanged names, with Ruka telling Mito that he'll love him every day to improve the blood quality. This gets Mito embarrassed, shoving Ruka out, making the excuse that he's got to take a bath now. As Mito gets undressed, Ruka tells him how he's been saved. He'd been looking for a beautiful boy like Mito for a long time, since he can't suck the blood of human women, which is most unfortunate because Mito is actually a girl. Oh no, what's she gonna do? Mito wakes up to the screeching cat, Marion, only to get pulled back into bed by Ruka. She screeches, wondering why they have to share a bed together, and while casually scratching his bedhead, Ruka tiredly responds, "It's to make Mito's blood taste better, of course." Mito stares, blushing, reflecting on her decision to become Ruka's thrall for a place to stay. He had taken Mito in on the impression that she was a boy, a lie that Mito hopes he never finds out. Ruka pulls Mito into bed because it's time for his breakfast. She wasn't prepared for this first thing in the morning. However, with a glittering look, Ruka proclaims Mito's job as a thrall is to let him drink whenever he wants, only to subsequently get sick from the taste. Mito is a little concerned that her neck is going to fill with holes, but with a light stroke, Ruka heals them with ease. The bat from yesterday then flies in, and wow, it's actually Ruka's butler, Komori. He brings Mito a uniform because starting today, she'll be attending Hijirigaoka's Boys Academy. As Mito walks in the halls with Ruka, she has a growing concern that people will find out she's actually a girl. Thinking Mito is just nervous on her first day, Ruka assures her the people in class are nice and she'll fit in with no problem. Introducing herself, the guys in her class think she's so pretty. Takada hopes that if Mito knows any cute girls, he gets digs on meeting them first. Everyone is so nice except for Ren Nikaido, who comes in glaring at her. After school, Ruka invites Mito to work part-time at the cafe with him, since she needs money. Luckily, the cafe is owned by his butler Komori, so he accepts Mito with no problems. In the changing rooms, Mito blushes as Ruka undresses. She definitely doesn't want to reveal her body, so she tells him she'll change after he finishes. But Ruka insists they change together, which gets Mito so flustered she shoves him out. At the start of their shift, Takada offers to help Mito in any way he can. Observing Juri's work, Mito thinks of him as so cute and doll-like. However, seeing her, he just scoffs. Maybe he's just in a bad mood. Then suddenly, Mito notices the crowd of girls swarming to be served by Ruka. Looking at them swooning all over him, Mito can't help but think with their charms and beauty, their blood must taste much better than hers. Ruka tells Mito to get the dried fruit from the pantry, and on the way over, she's fixated on the idea that Ruka could truly drink delicious blood from any of the girls he wants, making her feel inferior. Juri appears, asking Mito what she's plotting. He knows there's something different about her. What is she hiding? He thinks Mito is using Ruka and deceiving him. She backs into the shelves, causing the cookware to fall. However, Ruka appears to save her, and now is bleeding from the head. Juri feels bad about this. However, Mito doesn't fault him at all, and then she escorts Ruka back to the dorms. He'll recover once he drinks some blood, so Mito immediately assumes a drinkable position. After taking a healthy drink, Ruka begins to cough. Is it because her blood is so disgusting? Because she doesn't know what love is? She tears up, telling him if only her blood were delicious, like a girl's. However, Ruka only wants Mito, not just anyone. He licks her tears? I don't know how romantic that is. He also assures Mito he just choked from drinking too fast, but now his wound is fully healed. He then places an ornament around her neck called a sang sucre, which measures the taste of human blood. Right now, her blood is disgusting, so the heart's blue, but when she eventually ripens, the color will become a delicious strawberry red. He then blames himself for not being able to drink women's blood. That's why he must rely on a boy like Mito. Yeah, about that. As Ruka is about to elaborate on why he can't drink the blood of women, Komori appears to reveal Ruka's secret bookcase. The reason he can't drink female blood is because, and I quote, he's a huge otaku vampire who's only into 2D girls. Mito stares with a somewhat lost curiosity. So Ruka further elaborates his favorite anime is Love Magi, a show where two magical girls who escape from an evil organization fight to save the world. A masterpiece, passionately drawn to depict love, justice, and friendship. They also say a magic catchphrase. May your heart be filled with love and magic. Something that Ruka ridiculously imitates. Ruka feels completely judged for his ridiculous otaku hobbies, especially also given that he's bad with 3D women. However, this makes Mito happy knowing she has a real purpose here. With her teasing him, Ruka doesn't take it too kindly. Regardless, Mito is hoping she can stay here forever. During breakfast, Mito enjoys the cafeteria food at the academy, voraciously eating to recover from all the blood loss. Juri remarks that Mito seems to eat a lot in the morning. Takada asks how Ruka's doing since yesterday's incident, but she doesn't want to reveal Ruka's otaku secret. She then tells Juri that he was right. She is hiding something, but promises it's nothing that would hurt Ruka or any of them. Juri accepts this, and as is about to reveal a secret himself, Takada comes back because he wants in on it too. But this ends up going nowhere. They then hear motor noises, and outside, Mito spots her classmate Ren as he takes off his helmet. Juri remarks that Ren is a delinquent that gets into fights all the time. Walking in dorms, she gets called out by Ren, and why is he in front of her room? He introduces himself and tells her they need to talk in the backyard. He cracks the brick wall, asking Mito if she knows that Ruka's a vampire. However, Ruka is next to appear, and when he goes to cover Mito, Ren leaves, not even wanting to talk to Ruka. During judo class, Mito is amazed watching Ren take down another boy. He also cracked the wall earlier. How could he be this strong? Juri mentions Ren's strength has always seemed unhuman, much like Ruka's speed. Mito's opponent is the bad boy Ren himself. She's determined to protect Ruka's secret as a vampire, but when Ren sees the bite marks on her neck, he sweeps her instantly and takes her away. Outside, Ren grabs onto Mito, telling her to go home. If she continues to get her blood sucked by Ruka, she'll eventually become a vampire too, and won't be able to live as a normal human anymore. She won't be able to go back to her parents or family, and she'll lose everything. Little does he know she doesn't have anything. He claims the undead vampires to be heartless monsters. However, Mito doesn't take this, biting his finger to release herself. She gets passionate, saying living humans have been bigger monsters to her. Judging her on the way she looks, she already has no parents or a place to call home. No one else wanted her except for Ruka. To her, Ruka has a bigger heart than anyone. She promises she won't let Ruka turn her into a vampire, which causes Ren to pat her head. He just doesn't want Mito to get hurt. With everything resolved, the two ditch class, all while Ruka had been observing them. Hearing everything she said, Ruka wonders what these feelings he's having are. As a child, Ren has always had ridiculous strength, accidentally hurting other boys around him. Parents would often call him a monster and tell their kids not to play with him ever again, but his mother would always comfort him and tell him he's fine the way he is. As he stared at his reflection, he felt Mito's words were a lot like his dear mother's. What is the secret to Ren's strength? Find out next time by liking this video and subscribing to my channel.